Hello, I'm Chelsea Penner. I'm a dating coach and love mentor. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already yet, please click subscribe so I can bring you as much amazing content to help you with whatever your relationship and dating needs are. And also, click on that little bell for notifications so you can find out whenever I release a brand new video. And please comment below and let me know what you think about what I'm bringing to you, and if you have more video ideas, if you have questions you want me to answer, I love hearing from you. So today I want to talk about the 5 love languages. I want to talk to you about what they are and the importance of them. So the 5 love languages basically mean we all have different languages in which we speak in love, which means I need to receive love in a certain way so I understand that it's love, meaning it's a language. I also give love in a certain way that I understand and interpret love to be my language. So if we don't speak the same love language, sometimes our communication gets off and we just don't understand each other, and sometimes we think, oh, they don't love me because I'm not receiving gifts or sex or whatever it is your love language may be. So the importance of love languages will definitely save your relationship. So number 1, this love language is definitely one of the most common ones with women, and quite a few men as well, but not as common, and that's words of affirmation. Words of affirmation can be praise of any kind, and the reason why a lot of women have this as their number 1 love language is because women grow through praise. Men typically grow through challenge, and there's huge differences between the two. So again, this is very important to remember. Women grow through praise, men grow through challenge. So sometimes men will make the mistake of talking to a woman like they talk to a man and challenge her. Well, women don't feel loved that way. They feel loved with praise, typically. And again, women have different love languages, so you definitely want to find out what the female's love language is before assuming that it's words of affirmation. But by a long shot, words of affirmation is one of the top ones that females have. Love language can be, like I said, any form of praise. It can be a compliment. You look so beautiful, or you're gorgeous, or you're so smart, or you're so giving, and you're so loving, you're so nurturing. You know, whatever you want to praise the female or male about. And if it's a man, it can be, I respect you so much, because they really love respect. Or it can be, I appreciate you, because men love to be appreciated. There's nothing that motivates them more in a relationship. Or it could be, you look so handsome, or you look really good in that tux, or wow, I really like your haircut, or you did such a good job today, or you know, whatever it is, just anything positive that makes them feel good, that rewards them in a positive manner in the area of verbiage. So again, words of affirmation, and you can find out what your love language is by taking a test on love. Just Google 5 love languages test. So number 2 love language is physical touch. And for women, typically this is not in the top 2 or even 3. But for men, it typically is in the top 1 and sometimes 2. Yes, there are always exceptions, and again, you take the test online to find out, but men usually interpret physical touch as their love language because at an early age, men have been praising each other for who got laid, you know, in the locker room. Yeah, she let me have sex with her, so I'm so cool. You know, it's like an affirmation of someone, like a validation that they're a man. So they somewhat turn that into a love language. So again, physical touch can be anything. It can be a hug, it can be a kiss, it can be sex, it can be, you know, just a touch on the arm, like a flirt kind of touch. Any form of physical touch is the love language called physical touch. So again, women can have this as a top love language, but it's not typical. So this is more for the man. So what you can do to make sure that your man knows that you love him is to show him some physical touch, and sex usually is their number 1 way to do it. But if you're not in the mood, then make sure you give him a hug or a kiss, or, maybe tell him when you'll be in the mood. Let's say if you're on your time of the month on your cycle, then you can let him know that you love him. You're not going to be showing him his love language right now, but maybe let him know when he can get his love language so he can look forward to it and know that he's still desired by you and you still love him. Even though that may not be your way of showing love, it's how he interprets love for him. So just communicate to him, I'm over on my period on Friday, maybe let's go on a date on Saturday and I'll wear that lingerie for you. Just let him know when he can be getting that love language, or give it to him in a different way. There's a lot of different ways that men may be satisfied, and you can just find out what your partner may like and give it to him if it's comfortable for you. And again, when a woman is on her cycle, sometimes that's the last thing on her mind, and men do need to be cognizant of that, because men, you don't really understand what it's like to be on a cycle. Just imagine being punched in the stomach so hard that you get cramps and you can't help it just go in a fetal position, and it hurts for a good couple of days, and then imagine somehow that made an internal organ bleed when you got punched in the stomach and you're like bleeding out something and it doesn't stop. Like, how would that make you feel? Would you feel sexy? Would you feel like, going down on your woman if you were in that kind of pain and having some form of blood coming? How would you feel? Just put yourself in her shoes and just understand that she's probably not going to feel like that right now at this moment, but know that you're still loved, okay? And know that it's nothing personal. So the number 3 love language is gifts. And gifts can be something big and it can be something small. Gifts can be anything that just show that you care in a physical form. For example, someone may give a card. Someone may create a card. Someone may write a handwritten note. That's a gift. Someone may just send you flowers, or, anything to show that you're caring as like a token, to show that you thought of them and you care. And this is a different one. There is no, more men than women, have this higher on the love language. You just have to understand what your love language is and understand what your partner's love language is, so that you know if gifts should be a top priority or not. If you think that gifts is one of your top priorities or ways of showing your love language, and then you give gifts to your partner almost every day, but they're not showing appreciation for it, it's maybe because it's not their love language, and also women also have a different kind of point system than men do. Meaning, let's say you want to buy your woman roses as a token of your love and gift as in your love language. So let's say as a man, because you understand in your world that more or bigger will gain you more points. That's what men think. So you give her 36 roses, you'll get 36 points from her. But it doesn't work that way with women. It's 1 act of love equals 1 point. So 1 rose is the same as 36 roses. So you can save your money and just buy 1 rose. Or if you buy her a car and she obviously is going to be really happy with it, but you interpret her being happy all year because of it, because it's like 1,000,000 points. That's not the case for women. Again, it's 1 act of love, 1 point. 1 act of love, 1 point. So she'll be really happy even with little things if you're consistent with little things. Let's say her love language is gifts. If you give her little things, maybe at least once a week, she will feel loved. If you just give her 1 big thing a year, she will not feel loved. Does that make sense? It's consistency, kind of like working out at a gym. If you run 1 marathon a year, you're not going to be physically fit. And if you work out 20 minutes every, 5 days a week, you'll be fit. So again, it's consistency. Consistency versus 1 huge act. So I hope that makes sense. Number 4 love language is quality time. Quality time is much different than just time. And you give someone time, but yet you're sitting on your phone scrolling through Instagram or whatever you may be doing on your phone is not quality time. Quality time means you set aside a time and you connect deeply with that other person. You make sure they're heard, you make sure that they feel loved and valued, and you look in their eyes and talk to them, and you ask them how their day was, making sure your partner is seen and heard. And sometimes you need to set aside time every day, maybe at least an hour every day. Just schedule it in. Just 1 hour a day where you feel connected to your partner and you make sure your partner feels connected to you. That's quality time. And again, it's about consistency, not, hey, let's go on one vacation a year and the whole week I'm gonna spend quality time with you. And that should fill up your love tank all year, right? No. One act of love is 1 point for a woman, especially. And if a man has quality time as his love language, the same thing goes for him. He needs a consistency with the quality of time, not just one big vacation a year. So if your partner's love language is quality time, make sure that you're scheduling it in your schedule. It's best if it's an hour a day, but if you can only do about, let's say, 5 hours a week, then they'll still hopefully feel loved, unless it's like, maybe they were a twin, because twins actually have a need and desire to be around their partners a lot more because they were born with a twin and they're around each other all the time and they're used to that. So you also have to find out your partner's, need for that. If they're someone that just likes a ton of time by themselves on one end of the spectrum, or if they were born into a twin sibling relationship, or if they're somewhere in the middle, just get a handle on how much time they need for quality time. Once they take the test and they find out that quality time is a love language, then maybe just have a conversation about what does that mean for you? Do you need an hour a day? Just let me know, especially if it's a man, because a man is logical and he needs to know how much time to set aside for you to make sure you feel loved. And the fifth and final love language is acts of service. And acts of service is a really big one for a lot of people that don't like just words of affirmation, because sometimes people can use words and not really mean them. So acts of service means they're proving their love with an action, something to back up their words. Meaning, if you need your dishes washed, if someone, your partner, washes the dishes for you, it's an act of service. If they mow the lawn for you, it's an act of service. If you need your pictures hung up and they hung them for you, it's an act of service. If they paid a bill for you, that's an act of service. So if you know that your partner's love language is acts of service, and yet you still just try to give them gifts, they will not feel loved. They'll feel loved if you do their dishes. They'll feel loved if you do their laundry. They'll feel loved if you help them with any sort of task or errand or anything that's an action. It can't even be an act of help, meaning, can I help you with your business? Can I help you with your health? Anything that has an action behind it is an act of service. So if you have a love language as acts of service and your partner doesn't really know how to do that, the best way to do it is just little requests, like, hey, can you help me with the dishes? And then showing your appreciation with their love language in exchange. So that way, both parties feel happy and both parties feel loved. If both people in the relationship feel like their love language is being used and shown, they're going to feel loved. And it's really not that difficult. You just have to learn a different language, which is easier than learning a different language like Spanish or Turkish. It's just completely different. It's just a simple change of perception. Okay, so they're not going to understand my gift giving as love, so you just have to change it a little bit. They need words, okay? So just remind yourself, I have to tell them they're pretty today. Just a little extra effort goes a long way in relationships. So if you don't know your partner's love language, it's really important that you learn it. And if you know your love language, it's a good idea to communicate that with your partner as well. And again, with relationships, it's all about communication. So if you can openly communicate that to each other, you're gonna have a great relationship. Thank you so much for watching today. If you want to talk about your love language in the comments below, or any experiences you've had with someone not using your love language, or a good experience with people using your love language, comment below. I want to hear about it. And also, if you haven't already yet, please subscribe so I can send you guys more awesome videos and help you with whatever topics you need help with. Because in 2019, dating has gotten a lot different than it ever has before, and I'm here to help. And again, this is Chelsea Penner. I'm a dating coach and love mentor. Thank you so much for watching, and you're all worthy of love.